Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. Hello everyone. Hello. Oh, I forgot to put something up. Death counter. No, it's not. And hello, Lav. Hello, Logan. Ooh, yeah. I don't know anything about programming yet. Hopefully that will change soon. Because I would like to program. So I hope it does change soon-ish for me. Okay, just wanted to make sure the counter was working, and it is, so sweet. Anything else I need? No, that is everything. Hello, Habit. Welcome to the stream. And I'm surprised. Out of everyone that joined the stream last week, no one caught that I called last chapter, Chapter 5. Oh, man. I want to program a program that programs for programmers. That would be an interesting thing. That would be an interesting one, for sure. Yeah, I accidentally called last chapter Chapter 5, when in actuality it is Chapter 6. Now this one is Chapter 7, Shoddy Workmanship. So, I've been lying. This is the one where he meets Zodel and Daring Do. I'm not sure if he meets Topaz in this one. It might be next chapter. It's probably next chapter. So, might be both. Might be this chapter and next chapter. Sorry for the lateness of the stream. It started to snow and everyone forgets how to drive in the snow. It's not like it comes every year or anything. Super's not the one that's a programmer. It's Logan that's the one that's a programmer. Super's been streaming for a little bit now, although I can never catch his streams because he always does it either really early in the morning, for me at least, or when I'm at work, so I cannot do it. Programmer in training, as long as you know your stuff, a degree doesn't matter, at least in my opinion, because like, I've met so many people that have degrees and stuff, and they don't know what they're doing. That's what main people want is, do you know your stuff? You're hired. Although if that was the case, then I would never get hired to do an audiobook because I have no idea what I'm doing. But it's going to be fun doing a voice for Zodel and Daring Do. I mean, like you stream at like 10:30 for me, and it's like, no, I went to sleep like 4 hours before that. I'm not watching the stream because it's just so early. And even if I did move over there, that would still be pretty early for me. I work nights. Man. Come on, give me a little break. And woo, we got 4 watching now. Yeah. Can we break our record of 12? That's the question. Okay, so without further ado, should we get this party rolling? Let's see if we can do what we did last week and get through an entire chapter in one session. And I've been thinking, since my schedule's kind of uh, errant, except for these days. My schedule is kind of like willy-nilly for the most part. Well, maybe if I have more free time during the week, I might just record another chapter, and I will still leave you guys in the dark. And so you'll actually be surprised when I finally edit and upload, which I'm behind by it now. But I will be working on those soon. I was working on a backlog. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. A backlog. Definitely. Everything's still good? Everything's still good. So let's get started. Hey, V is here. Welcome, V. Hey, we say hey, oh. We gonna rock this club. We gonna roll all night. We gonna light it up like it's dynamite. Yeah, that's a good song. That's such a good song. Oh, and sorry for just like clogging up the story-related chat with all the EPUBs and whatnot for what's that guy's name? I want to know that guy's name. Duke Lardesk von BHS Zillen. Perfect. Beautiful name. I haven't seen Beetlejuice, so I don't know. I've only seen Dynamite. I've only listened to Dynamite, so maybe that's what I'll do next Halloween is watch Beetlejuice. Because I don't know, everyone keeps on talking about Beetlejuice, so yeah, well. Oh, and for anyone that wants to read a good book, yes, I've never seen Beetlejuice. Maybe a reaction stream. I don't own the movie or anything. It might be on Netflix, so I might have to steal my brother's for a couple of days to watch it. You probably made several references to it, and I just completely flown over my head. But whoever's seen those EPUBs who's ever seen those books I put in the story-related chat on the Discord, those are made by BHS, and from what I've seen, they're really good. And I've been making EPUBs of them all weekend for the last couple weeks now. If anyone's interested, and if you see any errors in them, let me know, because I try and comb through these as with fine-tooth comb as possible. But even I can miss stuff sometime. So yeah, if you see any errors, let me know. I'll go fix them real quick, because for whatever reason, when I download the I have to download it into a PDF, and then combine that, then merge those PDFs together, then put that into Calibre, which is what I'm using, or Calibre, however you want to say it. And so for whatever reason, whenever there's two T's right next to each other, like better or battle or anything like that, it deletes them. I don't know why. So if I missed one of those, or if there's something else I missed, let me know. Ooh, I should... okay, I'll check out the Adventure Zone. And... Big Mouth. Interesting. But as I was saying, I know, it's so weird. And it's like double T's just like get deleted. They're like replaced with a single space, or there's an extra space sometimes, and then sometimes it just takes out T and Z, like in quartz. That was a fun error to run into. So I try and keep an eye out for those, but they're so small that sometimes I can't catch everything, so let me know. Oh, it's a D&D podcast. Okay. There's a lot of D&D podcasts I should catch up on. Like, my friend is suggesting Critical Role for me. So, yeah, I'll check that out. So, we've been talking for what? A few minutes? Now, let's get this party started. I know there's this anime that is on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically a bunch of these like China. It's like basically those creepy China dolls, and it's like an anime. And I saw like a clip of it on Tumblr one day. I'm like, that looks amazing. If anyone knows that, let me know, because I want to look it up. My first days. This is Idle. Idle here. My first days without the caravan were simple, engaged in preparation. Maybe we should add a counter for every time I mess up a sentence. Might get into the hundreds, though. My first days without the caravan were simple, engaged in preparing my small caravan for long-term use. Oh, we can't see. Oh, it's and boopity boop. Did a boopity boop. Oh man, did I give you the view? Okay, you got the view, got the music, because you got the music in you. I keep on forgetting that. Physically heal thyself. My first days without. Yay! I really need like 3 screens. One for what you see, one for Discord, and then one up top to just check on, make sure the chat's not falling apart. Or I can make Discord smaller. Is that blasphemous? I don't know. That looks so weird. Half screened man, that looks so weird. Oh, Lav, what did you break this time? Don't break stuff. I work hard to try and make stuff not break. I mean, that is very true. Oh, and welcome, BHS Desk. Welcome to the stream. Oh, and I saw your message earlier. You're very welcome for me doing those, putting your book into EPUBs. It's actually a fun little challenge because I've never edited an EPUB that intensely before. But let me know if there's any errors in it, because some weird crossover, like some weird conversion errors happened when I converted it from a PDF into an EPUB. So just let me know if you see anything like that. I try and catch it, but if I don't, let me know. And I think this is like, man, we haven't seen VHS here for a while. I mean, really. Yeah, like, it's nothing urgent, and I can fix them anytime. Just, like, if you want. And I might even consider later doing, I know how you have them in volumes and whatnot. And since since the books themselves are a little short, like, are you planning on doing like what Fallout Equestria did and just have all the other books be like sections of a volume in one giant book? Because I think that's what you're going for. Like, for instance, like Without a Name and Eternity Awakes, and all those are like volume 1. And then you have volume 2 and volume 3. If that's where you're going for, sweet. I'd be happy to put those in. I'll compress all those into one giant book for you. Split up into 8 volumes with 3 books each. Yeah, Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I'm just going to do the last one for now. I'm just going to take care of that last one. Where is it? Soul Snatcher. I'm going to finish editing Soul Snatcher, but I can't do the other one since they're not finished, and it's a pain to pull in, to add in other chapters once you already have like a book already set up. So what I tend to do is just get each chapter by themselves, download each chapter into a PDF, merge it all together, import into Calibre, and then fix it from there. And that's like the way that I found that provides the least amount of errors. Because I tried downloading the HTML. Oh god, I will never do that again. That was terrible. But everything worked out in the end. So, yay. Man, and I'm getting distracted all over the wazoo. We'll never break the last stream. We'll never break the record of the last stream. Having spent more time in the caravan, gauging my strength, I was pleased to determine the gratitude given to me by the mare whose foal I saved, and several other caravan... It's a long sentence. Long one. Having spent more time in the caravan, gauging my strength, I was pleased to determine the gratitude given me... That's a long one. Oh, I definitely know. Sometimes the motivation is definitely not there. Why do you think like I haven't edited and I haven't posted another chapter of this story, even though I'm on chapter 7 and the last one I posted was chapter 3? It's because I just don't. It's because it's not like I hate editing. It's just kind of boring, to be honest. Oop. Hold on. Fixing something. There we go. It's because I listen to my voice for all these streams anyway, and doing that over and over again to fix all my mistakes it gets a little boring. Oh man, this is going to be good because, man, habit and a desk in the same stream. Let chaos reign. Let chaos reign. Having spent more time in the caravan gauging my strength, I was pleased to determine the gratitude giving... It's the apocalypse. Having spent more time in the caravan gauging my strength, I was pleased to determine the gratitude given to me by the mare whose foal I saved, and several of the other caravan members would sustain me for as long as several months alone, as I was able to determine that it was only truly useful for restoring health and as basic sustenance. Whew! Having spent more... Okay, there we go. It's not crackly. I'm good. As long as it's not crackly, I'm good. This is the voice of the beast. And this is the voice... No. Can I not do my Russian accent right now? Oh gosh. Yeah, Desk, you've missed the last couple of streams where Roughshot actually spoke. And it's in an accent that you wouldn't really realize it. I thought we were in the 9th circle by now. I thought the 6th circle was habit joining, and then the 9th circle is when both of you are together. I could live off of gratitude. Yeah, off of gratitude. No, it's no problem. I'm trying to get better at just doing it every Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Yay. Because that is great. Idle always seems to eat gravity. Oh, yeah. Oh gosh, that's true. I forgot to add in the forgot to carry the 2 and forgot to divide by Drake. we're all doomed. We're doomed. The apocalypse has arisen upon us. There's not 7 circles. This is a live stream. They can go as deep as we need it to be. Yes, divide by 0. No, divide by Drake. And Drake equals 0, so we're dividing by 0. I could live off of gravitude. Gravitude. That should be a word. It sounds awesome, doesn't it? Just gravitude. I could live off of gratitude, but without use of the other... That seemed crackly anyway. I could live off of gratitude, but without the use of other changeling ability. I can read. Gravitude. What would be the definition of gratitude anyway? An attitude so powerful, it's just everyone gravitates towards it. That actually sounds like it could actually be a thing. I could live off of gravity. That one word. That one word. I could live off of gratitude, but without use of other changeling abilities. I could live off of gratitude, but without use of other changeling abilities. Thank goodness. This is going to be fun. Boop. The other injuries I siphoned. Just can't siphon those injuries, Idle. Man, they're not good for you. The other energies I had siphoned from the caravan were more useful, though I had siphoned off more anger from Roughshod than even I had realized. The other energies I had siphoned from the caravan were more useful, though I had siphoned off more anger from Roughshod than even I had realized. Oh, thank goodness. Whew, I thought I messed up there. Yay! This giant paragraph is like 4 sentences. Oh gosh. And man, the chat is just going great. It's going so well in this stream. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The first days were spent in my own natural form as I expanded my own small cave into a workable nest for one, taking special care to place my sleeping roll over a shallow hole in the floor which would hold a cocoon and be far more comfortable than fabric. Why did that sentence not trip me up? The other, almost as long sentence did, but that one didn't. The other energies I had... The first days were spent in my own natural form as I expanded my own... Okay. Sokotoa. Yeah, I can speak in keyboard pound too. Or something. Man, it has already devolved into madness, and it is beautiful. It is so beautiful. Every live stream should be like this. Get nothing done. Fusroda! Yep, I'm with you there. It is worth noting that my kind are capable of a sort of hibernation within our cocoons, in which we use very little energy while still maintaining a sort of passive contact with the hive, allowing the queen to wake them at her leisure. It is worth noting that my kind are capable of a sort of hibernation within our cocoons. Okay, whew. I was afraid that I slipped up too much there. I love it. Love it. It's all so beautiful. This is how the majority of warrior drones spend their time, mentally training. This is how the majority of warrior drones spend their time. Mental training is shared, and their physical needs are taken into account by short periods of wakefulness in which they feed and actively guard the hive before they replace another drone and return to a cocoon to rest. Whew. No fool could dare challenge me. You blew it up. Curse you. You blew it up. Curse you all to hell. Beyond that, a cocoon provides a snug but not overly constricting way to rejuvenate oneself for a changeling. Beyond that, a cocoon provides a snug but not overly constricting way to rejuvenate oneself for a changeling. Beyond that, a cocoon provides a snug but not overly constricting way to rejuvenate oneself for a changeling. For a changeling. For a changeling. For a changeling. No fool could dare challenge me. Nanny. Who is Nanny? Who is this one Nanny? I have found a new enemy, and his name is Nanny. I have come to understand that many ponies find the idea of being sealed within a tough membrane of warm gel to be somewhat traumatic, which only proves that most ponies lack the ability to rest properly. Oh, Idle. Oh, Idle. It's so good. I love this story. I can't wait for me to finally get off my butt and finish editing the rest of these chapters. My first course of action after ensuring that I had a safe place to store my belongings was to find a more ready supply of food and water. Where does this sentence end? What? Oh gosh. Oh god. Oh god. That's so long. Okay. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear god, no. This is going to be fun. Who's with me? Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Oh gosh, that is absurd. That is absurdly long. Especially since the next sentence is boop. Scorpions and snakes I have found aplenty, and a small reservoir of frigid water fed by a mountain stream made for an excellent... Whew. Oh boy. No, that... Oh. I'm like... Oh, are you changing? Are you admitting to... Oh wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Equally satisfactory, and one that was so bitter. Are you sure? Period? One was so... Ha! He admitted it, so I didn't have to correct him on it. Yeah. And so now to open up... this Google Doc that I have saved specifically for this this. Where is it? There we go. Everything's a typo. One that was so bitter and unpleasant that the simple odor of it, when pulled from the ground and broken open, had driven me away. Maybe one between away and I was forced to assume Zamir had inadequately described garlic to me, and I had harvested the wrong plant. Yes, I do. Yes, I do have. It took me forever to find everything to make this work, but I do have a typo counter now. Oh, it does. It definitely does. Okay, now to put this into into editing. Go down, paste. Sorry, this is going to take a little bit longer. And back to suggesting, so that way you know where your mistakes lie. So you're saying, after satisfactory, and one, however, was so bitter. Okay, yeah, that. Place that with a period. Oh gosh, this is so many minute ones. And one. Video? What? Wait, hold on. One, however, was so bitter. Okay, one. Ever. Boop. There we go. Ooh, I'm getting a correction from Grammarly saying you need commas between commas surrounding when pulled from the ground and broken open. What? Where'd the video go? Is YouTube broken? What? Oh, I see what happened. I hit period. And period is my transition. Is my transition. Let me just change that. There we go. I can't change it, even accidentally now. Unless I type in a number. Oh well. We'll cross that when we get to it. You're fine now. It's fixed. You're good. The faceless herd of equestrian's armor. You know, when I first saw that, I'm like, well, I stole your face. Because it seriously looked like that. Boop. Okay, going to go into the middle of that. Chapters. There we go. And suggestions. Back to suggesting. No, wait. Back to editing. There we go. And now let's return. I like trains. Desk, have you not seen Idle in the Dread Train? I posted it. It's on my YouTube page. It's right now. Idle in the Dread Train has actually been written. Has actually been voice acted. Somewhat. And it was really fun to do. To the pit of rails with you, heretic. Turtles are awesome. Turtles are great. Scorpions and snakes I found aplenty, and a small reservoir of frigid water fed by a mountain stream made for excellent hydration, and the vegetation... vegetation. Scorpions and snakes I found aplenty, and a small reservoir of frigid water fed by a mountain stream made for excellent hydration, and the vegetation nearby produced several new flavors of berries and roots that I found equally satisfactory. One, however, was so bitter and unpleasant that the simple odor of it when pulled from the ground and broken open had driven me away, and I was forced to assume Zamer's had inadequately... That may... doing Idle in the train, in the Dread Train, now you think, I had so much fun doing that I might be doing more Adventures of Idle Hooves. Like, if I can find enough things for me to, make a decent sized video of it, like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes or so. If I can find enough content to fill those minutes in, I will make Adventures of Idle Hooves, and it's just going to be stuff like that. And it'll be so much fun to do. Oh, I know. Turtle soup. Made by turtles, not with turtles. As Looney would put it. But yeah, if in the Discord people collect an anomalous creation of things idle. It doesn't even need to be canon. It's just going to be fun stuff, like that holy bug. I am a holy bug. I will definitely put that into a video because it just is so much fun. It's so much fun doing these things. It's so much fun. One, however, was so bitter and unpleasant that the simple odor of it when pulled from the ground and broken open had driven me away, and I was forced to assume Zamer had inadequately described garlic to me, and that I had harvested the wrong plant. Carapace, with the carapace of Idle and Thorax fighting. Ooh. That sounds fun. Thorax and Idle going at it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Because Idle still kind of acts like, oh, man, so kind of, oh, man, that's going to be so good. The emotional Thorax versus the no-nonsense, takes everything literally Drax pony. Possibly while drunk. It could be that. It could be things Idle have said, possibly while drunk, or the adventures of Idle Hooves, or anything like that. It's all great. We also need to show you the upcoming Idle Topaz Tatzelworm smut scene. What? Crossover between Changeling of the Guard and Respite? Man, V, you up to a crossover already? It could just be a cameo, but man, a full a crossover. I still need to read Respite. It's slowly coming up on my reading list. It's number 2 right now. Nonetheless, I determined food would only be an issue if I gorged myself overly, as there were apparently few predators of my size locally. There was, however, markings of a large cat in the area, and I determined that harvesting food should not be undertaken lightly if I were almost so close. So close. Respite? What do you mean, saying respite? Respite like what? or do you... How else do you pronounce... Respite? Yeah, respite. Yeah, that's how I say it. Just respite, not respite. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I used to pronounce it as respite until I've heard a lot of people say respite, and I'm like, that sounds a lot better. The other one seems like you're smiting someone. Why are you so terrible? I learned it from you. I learned it from watching you. They're at it again. English is a beautiful language that makes no sense to anyone, not even native speakers. And apparently there's a difference between American English and Britain English, or like UK English. And it's strange. Like how they pronounce aluminium instead of aluminum. And I don't know how many pronounce. I don't know how many of you pronounce it aluminium, but like, that just sounds like you want to make more work for yourself than aluminum. And plus, it doesn't make a great tongue twister, because one of the few things I learned to help with my diction when I first started singing was just going aluminum, linoleum, aluminum, and you can't really do that with aluminium. That would make it. That would make it so much harder. That would just be like strange. Nonetheless, I determined. I'm curious, if any of you are from outside of the US and say Z, what's the difference between saying Z and saying Z? Like, I'm honestly curious, like, why do some countries pronounce it as Z and some countries pronounce it as Z? If anyone actually says it like that. Because I am extremely curious, and I haven't found anything online about it. Nonetheless, I determined food would only be an issue if I gorged myself overly, as there were apparently few predators of my size locally. Wait. Predators of my size locally. Crap. Here's the difference. One of them is wrong. Apparently, they also say Z in like Canada as well. So I don't know. So I'm just honestly curious, just like why that is, or when we were just like making crap up, they're like, let's not say Z, let's not say Z anymore. Let's say Z instead. Let's drop off a letter. There was, however, markings of a large cat in the area. A large cat in the area. There was, however, markings of a large cat in the area, and I determined that the crackening Revenge of the Squeak, the Crackening. There was, however, markings of a huge cat in the area, and I determined that harvesting food should not be undertaken lightly if I were intruding upon its territory. There was also a variety of wildlife too small to be, There was also a variety of wildlife too small or quick to be much of interest. Okay, yeah. I can pronounce it right. There was also a variety of wildlife too small or quick to be of much interest. Dragonflies and birds in abundance. There was also a variety of wildlife too small or quick to be of much interest. Dragonflies and birds in abundance. Oh, and you want me to... A while ago you said you want me to do a Georgian accent? Well, I think I can do something like that. Now, this is going to be the voice for Honeybee. Or, not Honeybee. Honeydew? Dewdrop? The honey mare up in Canterlot. Simply because I ran out of ways to do a female voice. So all of them are going to get some sort of accent from this point on. If a group is bad minus one member, would the group be the white sheep or the black sheep? Accents, they're beautiful. In Soviet Equestria, $3 you. I forgot there was a country named Georgia. Why did we name a state Georgia? Why do we must make things confusing for ourselves? It makes no sense. It's like when they named Washington, Washington, D.C., it was just originally named Washington just because there was no other state named Washington. And then the state's like, we want to be called the capital city, so we'll call ourselves Washington. And so they're like, oh crap, we can't just use Washington or else we'll be confused by two cities. Washington, D.C., Washington District of Columbia. So now it's just Washington, D.C. And there you go. That is your fun trivia for the week. Oh gosh. Read Shining's lines as the Swedish chef. I just have to do random sounds in a vaguely Swedish accent, right? That's all the Swedish chef is. Boink, boink, boink. Nah, Uranus was not almost named after King George, because didn't the king like not believe in like other planets for a while? I can't remember. It's been a while since world history. And no, I won't pronounce it the other way because Uranus is more correct. and I took astronomy. So, yeah. Having produced a basic structure. Having produced a very basic cell. The Shining Chef. Oh my gosh, that would be like the perfect name for a TV show. Another cooking show. The Shining Chef. I could just imagine just all of Shining's lines be complete gibberish. And Idol just reacting like he's speaking in a normal voice. Oh man, that would just be like Idol too, wouldn't it? Having produced a very basic shelter, I soon realized that it had the same flaws as my old hive. It was visually unappealing. Taking some rock dust and chewed flowers, I attempted to crush it against the gray walls in an effort to simulate Taking some rock dust and chewed flowers, I attempted to crush it against the gray walls in an... I almost had it, but then I messed it up. The Shining Chef with idle hooves. That sounds delicious, Shining. What shall we do first? So while he's doing that, I'll be making the sauce. It could just be like a total chef show. Oh man, it's so good. If you're a coward, real chefs use a flail to tenderize meat. Poorly done mind control. Oh gosh. Chrysalis. Oh man, when the wedding comes on, Shiny's just talking like the Swedish chef the entire time, and no one picks up on it but Twilight. Birder. Shining, why are you talking in that weird voice? What are you talking about, Twily? He's talking completely normal. I was wondering when someone was going to make that joke. Thank you, Desk. It is very true. Maybe that's the real reason why he's... Man, after tenderizing meat, he just can't form coherent words. I work the closing shift. You have to have a dirty mind in order to work that shift and survive at least. Taking some rock dust and chewed flowers, I attempted to crush it against the gray walls in an effort to... Man, I almost went into like a documentary. Here we see the idle hooves in his natural habitat, crushing some flowers against a wall. See, my brother is clearly having a stroke. Oh, Twilight, you're overreacting. Oh man, Habit and Desk just going at it. They would have just gone straight to the Crystal Empire. Very true. Very, very true. Hold on to your butts. Taking some rock dust and chewed flowers. Doing that documentary again. Here we see the shining armor in his natural habitat. This has been The Nature Channel. Taking some rock dust and chewed flowers, I attempted to crush it against the gray walls in order to simulate the more colorful walls of the tents, reasoning that the cave was small enough that anything entering would already be aware of my presence. These first attempts proved unpleasant. Firstly, brown is not exceptionally better than gray. Firstly, brown is not exceptionally better than gray. Secondly, any successful attempts to mimic any of the designs I had seen only to runny smudges of color that had left me. So are you saying Shining is going to die of snoo snoo? Is he going to be death by snoo snoo? Secondly, any successful attempts to mimic any of the designs I had seen led only to runny... Then everything goes wrong. Isn't it always? Doesn't it always? Secondly, any successful attempts to mimic any of the designs I had seen... Secondly, any successful attempts to mimic any of the designs I had seen only led to runny smudges of color that left me feeling more irritated than accomplished, which I decided was more due to my overabundance from roughshod. Secondly, which I decided was more due to my overabundance from roughshod. No desk. Keep going. Continue this beautiful madness that is happening in the chat. It is wonderful. My attempts to improve my stable of false shapes were far more effective. I had made my gray unicorn with a brown mane and had given it a cutie mark, Oh, Logan, I thought you were describing how Laura Croft became, Laura Croft. Crashed into a mountain, only survivors is her, maybe her sister, and then suddenly she knows things. I had made my ground... Shouldn't it be a gray unicorn with a brown mane? I had made a gray unicorn with a brown mane and had given it a cutie mark of a set of 3 stones side by side. Fun fact, 12 cities in Equestria have banned Cadence from buying industrial varnish. In the interest of public safety. Ooh, gosh. Yeah. I had made a gray unicorn with a brown mane and had given it a cutie mark of a set of 3 stones side by side. I had made my gray unicorn with a brown mane. Yeah. Yeah. I see that. I see it. And I shall correct it. Copy. Paste. Nope, not share. We're not sharing yet. Boop. A band. Fun fact, 12 cities in Equestria have banned Cadence from buying industrial varnish in the interest of public safety. I had made a gray unicorn with a brown mane and had given it a cutie mark of a set of 3 stones side by side. It was completely unremarkable to my eye, and I was satisfied with it. Appearance-wise, I shared more of Wasta's build than a roughshod, and with some effort I tweaked it to fall more in between them. Oh no, it's not gray versus gray, it's my instead of a. I had made a gray unicorn with a brown mane, or I had made my gray unicorn with a brown mane, because it just it doesn't seem like Idle to want to own things almost. Appearance-wise, I shared more of Wasta's build than a roughshod, and with some effort I tweaked it to fall more in between them. They can't decide if it should be defined as chafing or localized erosion. Ow. Modeling my coat with spots to match my mane proved slightly more tedious. Modeling my coat with spots to match my mane proved slightly more tedious, but served to hide my form amongst the stone. Modeling my coat with spots to make my Modeling my coat with spots to match my mane proved slightly more tedious, but served to hide my form amongst the stone of the Badlands even more efficiently than a solid matching color had to my interest. Over the course of the next few days, oh gosh. Fun fact, Cadence keeps 8,392 different varieties of lube. It's still not enough. Oh gosh. oh gosh. Over the course of the next few days, I came up with several other forms. A sky blue Pegasus with a white mane and a cloud for a cutie mark, a green and tan earth pony with a mountain for a cutie mark, and finally a silvery monochromatic unicorn with a lightning bolt, which I deemed reasonably appropriate. Okay, so this should be a what is it called? Funner fact. That's where the smooths came from. So this comma right here should be a semicolon. Boom. Boop. There we go. And that's all they said of that. Appropriate. Oh gosh, no. For names, I had come up with Stone Wand, Windy Clouds, Rock Hardtack, and Silver Spell, respectively, all far more suitable names than Sandy. Should there be a semicolon between with and Stone Spell? It sounds like there should be, right? I had come up with Stone Wand, Windy Clouds, Rock Hardtack, and Silver Spell, respectively. And that's why I just put these as suggestions. Mostly so you can see where it's coming from, as well as so you can so you can accept or deny whether or not. There we go, forgot a couple. Cadence wants shining to hear it in the semicolon, if you know what I mean. Oh man, this is good. This is so good. I love this chat is the best. And we're up to 5 people watching. Woo! My next course of action, I decided, should be to familiarize myself with the terrain. No. My next course of action, I decided, should be to familiarize myself with the terrain. Traveling up the mountains was so much easier. Traveling up the mountain was so much easier than it seemed to be for ponies, given my more lightweight frame and ability to cling to walls. As such, I made several discoveries, including that Zamir had, at one point, carved that she was formerly present in one of the rocks. This pleased me for reasons I could not quite comprehend, and found myself visiting her impromptu sign when the mood struck. Oh man, Zamir was here. Oh man, that's so good. That's great. Oh man, Desk keeps just getting banned. I've never seen so many people want to be banned getting themselves banned so quickly. It was upon the 4th or 5th visit that I found... It was upon the 4th or 5th visit that I was forced to recognize that my lack of a hive was disrupting my practice. I needed to ensure these new forms were second nature, but I had been practicing for 2 weeks without much change in my daily routine. The time traveling with the caravan had instilled a restlessness within me. New sights, new experiences. These are not things for a changeling. Yes, Zamir was here. Like, it's so good. I stopped, considering the thought. They were not things for a changeling excavation drone, but I was something else, wasn't I? I was a gatherer, a hunter, an excavator. I was not adept at these other roles, but I was surviving. Perhaps some minor curiosity and restlessness was appropriate for my new life. This idea pleased me. I was entirely within my rights to ask questions and seek whatever I personally desired. Ha! So, what did I desire? To live, obviously, but that seemed insufficient. Roughshod sought a quiet life to live out his days. Wasta wanted to be a renowned trader. Zamir wanted to pass on a legacy, but those were pony desires. Did I wish to start a hive? I could not think. I could. I know. Man, was Zamir just even more rowdy than Wasta as a child? I mean, she did rebel enough to be like, I'm gonna make my own caravan with blackjack and hookers. At like what age? Hyperband. I could think of no means of doing so. I could possibly find a female. I think that should be could I possibly find a female exile? But that was disgusting. Maybe? Maybe not? Either or. I could think of no means of doing so. Could I possibly find a female exile? But that was disgusting. A female exile would be beneath even contempt. Shame, idol. You did well, but there's nothing for it. Killer Queen! Killer Queen! I can't do the Schwarzenegger growl. I could possibly find a female exile, but that was disgusting. Yeah, that works. Never mind. Never mind my ramblings. Shame, idol. You did well, but now there's nothing for it. I could think of no means of doing so. I could possibly find a female exile, but that was disgusting. A female exile would be beneath even contempt. I could think of no means of doing so. I could possibly find a female exile, but that was disgusting. A female exile would be even beneath. Why do I keep on wanting to add words? I don't want to add words. It's hard enough with just these words. Now I want to add words? I could think of no means of doing so. I could possibly find a female exile, but that was disgusting. A female exile would be beneath even contempt. I examined that thought. I was an exile. Was I contemptible? Surely not, and I had never considered exiles or exiles. Exiles or exiles. Surely not. Surely not, and I had never considered exiles or exile as a act. Surely not, and I had never considered exiles or exile as an act prior to my banishment. The emotion did not feel genuine. Surely not, and I had never considered exiles or exile as an act prior to my banishment. The emotion did not feel genuine. I realized with a sudden start and a burst of pain that the emotion was not mine, something of the Queen's. I considered the idea and shivered. Of course the Queen would not want me to start a hive of my own. If I were to challenge her authority in such a matter, I would be destroyed, regardless having offspring I would be destroyed. Regardless, having offspring held no interest for me. Not yet, until you meet a certain mare. To build. I wanted to create, to make, and yet I lacked something I could not explain. I wanted to repair the hive, to build. I wanted to create, to make, and yet I lacked something I could not explain. I wanted to repair the hive, to improve it, but could not determine what had been wrong in the first place, so I would have to learn. Perhaps Canterlot did hold something of interest for me, but not yet. I had weeks to prepare, to grow used to these new forms, and to learn to live as if they were the truth. As if they were truth. And to learn to live as if they were truth. And to learn to live as if they were truth. How close are we to the... Oh gosh. Oh. It just keeps going. Oh. Yeah, this is definitely this might even be our first part 3. I forgot this was a longer chapter. Because Rainbow Dash is totally awesome. I don't know what to use for Daring Do's voice. Daring Do has a different voice from Rainbow. So that's going to be strange. It was one such session as windy clouds that I discovered a strange structure hidden in a valley in the midst of the mountains of the Badlands, and a set... It was on one of these sessions... It was on one such session that... It was on one such session as windy clouds that I discovered a strange structure hidden in the valley in the midst of the mountains of the Bad... Stupid burp! It was on one such session as windy clouds I discovered a strange structure hidden in a valley in the midst of the mountains of the Badlands. A set of large Oh my gosh. Commas! You need them! I need to know who that person is before I can do... Oh...
Now, just about everybody, certainly every literate person, has read your book, In Cold Blood, the story of the wholesale murder of the Clutter family by two...
See, people are always with me making this distinction between subject matter and style. What they don't understand is that what is important to me is...
Subject matter and style. He definitely does have a distinctive voice. Might be a little higher pitched than I'm used to, and I'm slipping into honeydew, even more so. I don't know. I don't know if I could do his voice. And commas, man, you need them badly. A strange structure hidden in the valley in the midst of the clouds of the Badlands. Oh! It feels like running a marathon through that sentence. I watched... Come on, come on, come on, come on! I watched the Clone Wars. I did watch Clone Wars, but not religiously. I'll have to look that up because it's a little bit harder for me to remember because Clone Wars was so long ago. I can't remember, and I didn't watch it all too often, just when it came on, but just when I was able to catch it, but not too often enough for me to remember everything about that show. It was on one such session as Windy Clouds I discovered a strange structure hidden in a valley in the midst of the mountains of the Badlands, a set of large buildings with a massive one in the center, towers poking up from it at A set of large buildings with a massive one in the center, towers poking up at it from regular intervals. Should that just be a period between Badlands and a set? At the Badlands. A set of buildings. A set of large buildings. I don't know. Yeah, it'd have to be reworded a little bit, but I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. And so I said, baby, I'm going down to the roof. Man, Doors. That was a beautiful video. Did anyone see like the Doors 3? That was so amazing. Doors 1 and 2, beautiful. Doors 3, just, man, it was so long too. I'm surprised they didn't, I'm surprised they're ending it with just Doors 3. Since they had so many submissions for Doors 3, they could have easily made Doors 4. And if they just like did Doors 4 like next year, then it'd just be like the ending of Doors coinciding with the ending of Gen 4. Gen 4 and Doors 4. Oh my gosh, it would have been perfect. It would have been so beautiful. At first, I was concerned that I had stumbled across a small settlement of equestrians who had sought to expand their borders. At first, I was concerned that I had stumbled across a small settlement of equestrians who had sought to expand their borders, but if it was the case, it was apparently long abandoned. My curiosity piqued. I landed nearby. My curiosity piqued. I landed nearby, investigating one of these strange My curiosity piqued. I landed nearby. My curiosity piqued. I landed nearby, investigating one of these strange towers, which I noted was in fact... As soon as I saw the word creepers, I'm like, Minecraft? Is he going to get exploded? Oh man, Idle playing Minecraft. I don't know why, but that just seems funny to me. Maybe it's just because he would break at all the gravity-defying things. Like, just be like, how? Why? Why are you just floating there? Okay, see you later. See you later, Desk. Yeah, these streams usually just go on for only 2 hours. So, yeah, starts at 7 MST, ends at 9 MST. Every Sunday, as long as I can, and I'll let you know in the Discord, you have to sign up for the notification group in the live stream chat, and then you'll receive notifications on when these streams are happening. But yeah, it was fun having you. We'll see you later, Desk. My curiosity piqued. I landed nearby, investigating one of these strange towers, which I noted was in fact an overgrown stone column, the grayish creepers all over it. The grayish creepers all over it, serving to hide it from casual inspection. Sweet. I haven't seen the new Doctor Who. How's the new female Doctor? I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard anything about this new season that's been going on. You might have to catch me up next time you drop in, right? Yeah. So I've heard that she was pretty good. I've also heard people just making like I've also heard good and bad things. I've heard, like, some people say that she doesn't really act like a doctor, she acts more like a companion, but I don't know. I haven't seen her, so I can't make a judgment yet. Nice. I'll have to try and catch up on it because I really haven't seen any of Peter Capaldi. I've seen like a few episodes of Capaldi's and none of the new episode. Like, I kind of stopped watching after Matt Smith, to be honest. Yeah, and that was just generally because I got busy and I didn't have time to watch the show anymore, more than Capaldi's acting or anything. Although David Tennant will always be my doctor. Tennant was the best doctor. Ooh, interesting. But who else? Who is your favorite doctor? Tennant is definitely mine. Comment right now and we'll see. I might do a straw poll later. I don't know. Pulling some 3. Pulling some free, I was inordinately pleased to see that the stone had weathered the time very well, and more interestingly was covered in intricate carvings. I guess that's true, but Tennant was always just my favorite doctor. For me, Matt Smith was too goofy at times, and Tennant just seemed to have the perfect mix of witty commentary, action hero, and deadly serious. It had the right mix of all 3 of those, and it was just so good. I guess that's true. Although my all-time favorite Doctor Who episode, although I actually should say my favorite Doctor is John Hurt. John Hurt and David Tennant were like the perfect doctors. What are you going to do? Assemble a cabinet at them? Like, everyone forgets about the War Doctor, but he was great. He was fantastic. He only showed up for 1 episode, which was sad, but at the same time, it made sense, and he was just such a great doctor. John Hurt really played up that character really well as the no-nonsense, what are you, wibbly-wobbly? Just like confused at his future selves. And I think they tried to remake that with the season finale between Capaldi and the first Doctor. But at the same time, it just didn't capture the same feeling as John Hurt meeting Smith and Tennant. Oh yeah, that might be true. Capaldi definitely had amazing stories. I know, it was so good, but it wasn't as good as the one with Hurt in it, because I don't know, it just, the guy that they the guy that they had play the first Doctor, he was fantastic. Don't get me wrong, he was a great actor, but I don't know, the writing of that episode just seemed awkward, and maybe that's what they were going for, was that it's the new and old clashing together. But I just laughed a lot more with John Hurt in the picture. Oh yeah, Capaldi's speech. Oh my gosh. When I heard that speech, I'm like, oh gosh. Like, it didn't have me crying like Tennant did with I Don't Want to Go, because he was the Doctor for like the longest at that point, and just seeing him go is just like, we don't want to let you go, Tennant. Never let go, Tennant. It was just so good. Yeah, Capaldi's speech gave me chills, but Tennant's last moments like pretty much made me cry. Also, hello, hello, Astra. I didn't see you there. Welcome to the stream. We're ending in about 15 minutes. Oh man, I could just talk about Doctor Who. I could talk about Doctor Who all day. Because if I had to choose the best Doctor and companion, it would be Tennant with Donna. The Dr. Donna. Like the best team up I've seen ever. And I haven't seen most of Clara, so I don't know. And I know everyone loved Rory and Amy, but really, no, Donna and Tennant were phenomenal together. Oh, absolutely. We'll fanboy all the time. You have a good night, Desk. I'll see you around. Hopefully I didn't mess up too much with your books. I was aware of reading and could vaguely recognize letters, but these symbols were completely unfamiliar to me, though many of them seemed... I was aware of reading and could vaguely recognize letters, but these symbols were completely unfamiliar to me, though many of them seemed self-explanatory. They showed ponies, or something very like them. I think you need to put in very much like them, or something very much like them, putting something inside of the much larger ramp structure. They showed ponies, or something very much like them, putting something... They showed ponies, or something very much like them, putting... They showed ponies, or something very much like them, putting something inside the much larger ramp structure. I felt a flicker of annoyance at the inability of the carver to accurately portray his meaning, and then realized with more irritation that was entirely likely that was more of a failing on my part. Then realized with more irritation that was entirely likely that was... Then realized with more irritation that it was entirely likely that it was more a failing on my part. Then realized with more irritation that it was entirely likely that it was more a failing on my part. Then realized with more irritation that it was entirely likely that it was more a failing... Man, you can't really hear that it... Then realized with more irritation that it was entirely likely that it was more a failing on my part. Then realized with more irritation that it was entirely likely that it was more a failing on my part. Still, the implication was clear. Something had been placed within this enormous storm building. Oh, right. I keep on forgetting about these. Boop. And that second one was because I probably didn't count one earlier. Still, the implication was clear. Something had been placed within this enormous stone building. Still, the implication was clear. Something had been placed within this enormous stone building. Something had been placed within this enormous stone building, and I would be lying if I said I was not a bit curious as to what. But truthfully, I wanted to examine the structure itself. These stones were aged, possibly ancient, and it was fascinating. The wild weather on the edges of Equestria made above-ground hives a tricky prospect. These stones had not only survived, but well enough that markings made upon them had been mostly unharmed. Did the carvings serve some sort of purpose? Was the strange stone itself that was exceptionally Was it the strange stone itself that was exceptionally sturdy? I had been curious before. This, on the other hoof, was first... I had been curious before. This, on the other hoof, was the first time I felt my interest truly driving me, and I had to explore these ruins. I found disturbingly lifelike statues. I found disturbingly lifelike statues of ponies that made me think of warrior drones holding some sort of long-bladed staves, not quite the spears that Roughshot had explained, and not quite swords, but a cross between the two. Not quite able to help myself, I fashioned a new earth pony shape after one of the guards, and felt markedly more comfortable now I belonged here. Whew. You have a good night, Aster. Hopefully see you next week. Finding myself drawn to the ramp structure in the center, I discovered a door near the top, sealed, of course, but not nearly so well to prevent a suitably... Ooh, ow. My eyes. I haven't blinked in probably like 10 minutes. My eyes! Blink more often. Finding myself drawn to the ramp structure... Finding myself drawn to the ramp structure in the center, I discovered a door near the top. Sealed, of course, but not nearly so well to prevent a suitably driven drone from tunneling through it. On the other side were more carvings, and I felt my interest grow still greater. These were not the somewhat crude carvings of before. These were beautiful works of art in their own right. Works of art in their own right. I could not grasp their meaning, but did not truly feel that I needed to. I was enjoying this place, even without truly comprehending it. Here we have Idle Hooves, Tomb Raider. Okay, this is probably going to be the last paragraph, and then I'm going to have to stop the stream for this week. Certain stones would shift beneath my hooves as I investigated the walls, having a strange tendency to cause said walls to emit spikes, in one case disgorging a veritable feast of snakes. Confused and irritated by their relocation, There's a weird cat outside! Blink! Oh man, it's so good. I only started seeing that yesterday. Has it been around long enough that I'm just barely getting it, or am I for once on top of a trend that's going on? Certain stones would shift beneath my hooves as I investigated the walls, having a strange consistency to Certain stones would shift beneath my hooves as I investigated the walls, having a strange tendency to cause said walls to emit spikes, in one case disgorging a veritable feast of snakes, confused and irritated by their relocation. After a stone slab from the ceiling nearly crushed me, I decided with some annoyance to avoid putting my weight on those loose stones anymore, having begun to grow tired of the shoddy work put into some of the construction. Regardless of the builder's failings, it was wondrous. I doubt I would ever have the... Regardless of the builder's failings, it was wondrous. I doubt I would have ever left the hive had I been able to spend my days replicating such beauty, and even the queen would have had to recognize the value. Even should changelings merely carve a daily experience on the wall, it would have perhaps added something. I could not for the life of me determine what it was that I wanted in that moment. Something had lacked at the hive, something I could almost feel here, almost put a name to. Man, I was expecting to flub way more on that paragraph than I actually did. Oh gosh, I haven't saved since the beginning of this stream. Oh man. That would have been so bad. That would have been so bad if I lost everything. I would have been so sad. Oh man. Oh. Thank goodness that I didn't have anything happen during that. Oh gosh. Well, I'll stick to my promise and say that was the last paragraph. Join us next week as we finish Tomb Raider Changeling Edition. And this chapter might be long enough to split into 3 parts. I don't know. Depends on how much I get distracted next week. But either way, hope you had a great time. And, man, I hope you had a great time. And I'll see you next week. Bye.